What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I have another backyard R10 home tee hero simulator vlog today. However, we're doing something a little bit different. I had the idea to kind of get a little bit of a collaboration, kind of R10 user, specifically YouTube user, little friendly matches going. So I challenged Rockstar Golf, I believe his name is Derek, to TPC Sawgrass, a course that, one, I've never played before because I wanted to do something new to the channel, but two, just something that was well known. But he put up a video. He actually scored pretty well. Go check out his channel. I'm going to link it in, I think, the title and probably the description as well. But spoiler alert, he put up a +9, which should have been a +5, but he blew up on the last couple holes. But either way, a +9 is pretty good. I chose the course and he chose the tee boxes and the weather conditions. So just before we get started, so we're clear, we are doing the TPC Sawgrass Stadium course from the white tees, and we're doing the course weather. So that means the course altitude, temperature, humidity, and the wind. So as you can see on screen, and if you check out his video, the wind is going pretty good, 10 to 20 miles an hour. I did come out here on top of using weather settings that I'm not used to. Out here, actually, it is 40 degrees with a real feel of 33. So definitely not ideal conditions to come out here and play well. Took me about twice as long to warm up with just my 9 irons on the range, and I did go through, he played 6 holes beforehand, not that it's gonna matter, but I went through and played the first 2. I hit irons just to see what the wind was going to do and what the course location settings were going to do, and it seems like similar to how it was before Garmin did this update, everything's about 2 clubs short, and then I have to factor in the wind on top of that. So we could be anywhere from 1, depending on the wind, if it's helping or hurting, anywhere from 1 to 4 clubs difference. So don't have the super high expectations here. I think there's a very high chance that Derek's probably going to win this first go around of the challenge. But anyways, we'll see what we have and see how we can do. Like always, Garmin Approach R10, Country Club Elite mat, my DIY stance mat. I'm going with the Volvic Vivid balls again, 10x7 nets, and home tee hero. I did quickly, I figured, I don't know if I'm going to start struggling real bad with the current ball that I have. I did put 2 metallic, I'm not sure if this is in focus with the camera, but 2 metallic dots on this other ball. I did try this on those 2 holes that I played beforehand, and it didn't seem like it made too much of a difference. But if I really start struggling with the wind and the shortages and whatnot, I may switch out that just to see if I can, some of the longer shots will lower the spin, maybe get a little more distance out of them. But I have a feeling there's a decent chance that I'm going to start getting pretty frustrated here with the shortage. But we're going to try our best. Derek said he's picking the next course, so I'm doing the weather, or the weather settings for the next one, so should be back to normal there. But at a minimum, it'll be interesting. So first hole, we've got a par 4, 385 yards, 11 miles an hour to the left. I'm gonna aim up there towards the right. No way I hit it 252 between the cold weather here, again, the shortage with the altitude and whatnot, and the wind, but we'll see. Maybe I'll surprise myself. Decent swing, should be relatively straight. We'll see what happens with the wind. Came out kind of low, but started it right, it's pushing us back left. I'll take that. Second shot, we got 139, wind still blowing to the left, so we're definitely gonna aim right here on the green. So we got 139. I think I'm gonna club up just on average about 2 clubs on everything. Again, between the weather settings here and how cold it is here. If you guys know, if you've played in cold temperatures like this, how we have in New England, the ball feels like a rock, and obviously you're compared to 80-90 degrees and sunny, your swing speed and your back is going to be a lot slower compared to when it's hot and humid and you got a sweat going. But 139, I think I'm going to play at about 159, which would be 9 iron. we'll see. I have a feeling the distances and the shortage is going to come into play a lot more with the longer clubs and off the tee versus some of these shorter shots. So maybe from like 150 in, depending on where this goes, I might only do like one club up and then club up 2 on the longer shots or something. But I'll unfortunately probably have to give a couple strokes to Derek before I start figuring it out. Ah, that was left, and the wind's blowing that way too. Wow, that took off so much. That was, I definitely didn't get all of that, but that was still probably a good 145, 150, so that was like, what, 30 yards short with the wind and everything else. This should be interesting. So 30 yards out of the bunker, we got the wind kind of in our face. I'm gonna aim slightly right. 30 yards, and then with the bunker, that's gonna be another 6, but it plays longer than 20% in my experience. Like I've said in many other videos, the greenside bunkers play like 40, 50, 60% reduction, and the fairway bunkers play like 30, 40, 50% reduction. I don't know why it says 20. I know it says 20, but it always seems to play a lot shorter. So 30 yards. I still haven't figured out for the weather or for the wind if I want to add, like if I'm directly into the wind or against the wind, if I want to add maybe half a yard for each mile an hour or maybe a full yard. Probably seems like that last one's going to be a full yard, but this one we're not directly into it. But 20% would be 6 yards. I think it's going to play at least 12, so that puts us at 43. I think I'm going to go 52. Do a little choke down 52, take a little bit off of my regular 50-yard shot here and see what happens. Caught it a tad heavy, but I would think that would be on the green. Or not read it. All right. Didn't feel terrible at that, but I guess we get a mulligan. That was not hit as well, and that was left. But we're on the green. It's going to be a bogey, I think, to start it, and unfortunately, like I mentioned to Derek when he put up the video, Rockstar Golf, I hope his name is actually Derek, but that +9 is just going to be taking up a lot of mental real estate in my head throughout this whole round. So we're 1 over now. Essentially, I have 8 strokes now, so we'll see. Second hole, par 5, 467 yards, 10 miles an hour to the left, or from left to right, rather. So I'm going to aim up there on the left. 245. We've got water up there, but this will come up short. Another decent strike. That was pretty straight, so the wind's gonna push it a good amount at that too. Not too bad though. Got some distance out of it. Maybe it's gonna be the opposite of what I expected. Maybe the longer clubs won't matter as much, and then the real shortages with the wind and whatnot are gonna come into the mid and short irons. So we got 201 left. Up one, so we're at 202, 10 miles an hour from left to right, so we're definitely going to aim left side of this green. 200 yards, that would usually be a nice smooth 5 iron. I think I'm going to club up 2. So I'm not going to go 4 iron, I'm going to go 5 hybrid. And we'll see what happens here. Usually, as you guys seen in the other videos, usually my 5 hybrid, if I hit it well, is about 220, 230. So I'm playing about 20-30 yards short here, depending on how I hit it. Came out low. That's gonna fade right. Just a tad long, but that's gonna be a +3, unfortunately. That was a good, probably 20 yards short there, so we'll take the par though. Kind of just adding all these shots of how they play with the wind and whatnot into my memory bank here, and see if I can throughout the round. It'll probably take me this good front 9 to kind of figure things out here, and then hopefully by the back 9 I have a better idea. But third hole, we're 1 over, par 3. We got 157 down 1, so we're at 156, and then 10-mile-an-hour wind helping. So I think I'm gonna take, this is where it gets tricky. So I'm probably gonna take 10 yards off of it, but if we're short anyways, that would be a 9-iron. I think I'm gonna hit an 8. So I'm gonna basically club up 1 instead of 2, and then take off 10 yards for the wind. Caught it heavy and left. Oh, right on the edge. Is that gonna be a +2 or +3? Probably a 3. Ooh, +2, we got lucky. That was a generous +2, we'll take that par. Decent club selection though, I didn't hit that great. That 10 miles an hour, I think I'm gonna probably default to whatever the wind is. Adding that or subtracting it. But fourth hole, par 4. Now I don't know if the wind changed. When I was out here before, I think there's 3 or 4 different wind settings. I just did again the course location, whatever the course weather was, and that one had it from 10 to 20 miles an hour. So far these first 3 holes, everything's been around 10. So we'll see if it starts to get up towards 20, which Rockstar Golf was dealing with. That definitely starts to get a little crazy if you're dealing with 20-mile-an-hour wind. But we're gonna aim up here, par 4, left side, maybe even here. We'll see what happens. Oh, that was way right. Get down. Get down. Sit. That was about 2 yards from being into that water. Better to be lucky than good. Alright. So we got 78 yards. We're in the rough, so we're going to add another 8 to that. So we're looking at 86. And then again with the altitude shortage, then we got wind from left to right. So we're gonna aim left side of this green, and I think I'm gonna go choke down pitching wedge, try to play, basically we need 86. I think I'm trying to play close to a 100-yard shot here. I think it's that wind, although it's not directly in our face, it's pushing the ball back a little bit, so I think this is probably gonna take off some yardage on top of that. And all this planning and whatnot that I'm trying to do is all well and good, but if I can't actually do what I'm doing and I shank it anyways, it's not going to matter, all my planning. Pulled that left. And it bounces into the water. Gotta love it. Well, I guess we'll try that again. And that came up way short. I hit that a little heavy. Definitely pulled it left, so that deserved to be in the water. I guess we won't go as far left this time. There goes the scorecard. That one was right. Not even close. That's gonna be a +3 on top of it. I was playing so short. Well, triple bogey, there it is. We're up to +4 now, I think, on the 5th hole. All right, 11 yards, so it looks like it is going to be eventually probably work its way up towards 20 yards, or 20 miles an hour rather, of wind, but I guess we'll just go straight out here. This is going to push it back a good amount. Struck it decent. Should turn over a little bit left. We'll see what happens with the wind. Yeah, it probably took off. I struck that decent. That took off at least 20, 30, 40 yards probably. All right, 211 into the wind. So we'll add at least another 11 of that. So we're looking at 222. 221, something like that, and then I think I'm gonna add basically 2 clubs to that. So I'm gonna go 240, which is gonna be 4 hybrid if I hit it decent. I'm not admitting defeat yet, but it's not looking great. Through 4 holes, we're 4 over. If I start pushing anywhere, probably 10 over and beyond, I'll probably just start picking up the pace of play and just trying to finish it, because again, kind of up against it here. Foot slipped a little bit on that one, but came out left, fading right, and way short. "24 yards left into the wind. So, and we need the rough. So we'll add 3 yards, so that's we're at 27. And then we'll call it maybe 5-10 yards on top of that because of the wind. So, like, close to 37, maybe 32, somewhere between 32 and 37. I'm gonna go 56 degree. Put a little bit extra mustard on my regular 30-yard shot. Popped it up a little bit, but I felt decent about that. I put a little bit on it. All right, just a tad long. That was probably close to 40, 45, so that still came up. Granted, we were out of the rough, but about 10 yards short or so. 6th hole, par 4. All right, 354. This time we have 13-mile-an-hour wind helping us, so I'm gonna aim left side of the fairway here. Let's see if I can make some decent contact and get that extra wind that's gonna help with the yardage here. I'm gonna have to take advantage of the ones that I have the wind helping if I want to get anything remotely close to a 9 over. Struck it decent, but it's definitely right. I pushed that pretty far right into the trees. Hopefully it's not a penalty. All right, 97 yards, 13 up to the right, and then 10%. So we'll add another 10 yards because we're in the rough. So 107. And then 13 yards, so maybe take like 10 off of that. I think I need around 100. But then with the altitude, I don't know, it starts to get into much more of a guessing game than I'm regularly used to. Guess we'll go 100 and see what happens. Oh, that was so thin. Hopefully that comes up short. That might be off the back of the green to the left. Wow. Well, that's one way to do it. That was regularly, that would have been 120, 130, just a complete skull over the back of the green. At least we shaved one off. 7th hole, par 4, 14 miles an hour back at us. So I'm gonna aim up there to the right. That was poor contact. At least it's going to be in the fairway, but that was pretty bad. .206 off the tee. Usually I hit my 5-iron almost that far. All right. And speaking of 5-iron, 194, but we got 14-mile-an-hour wind into our face, plus the shortage on top of that. So I think I'm looking at, we're at 195. We'll call it 15 yards because of the wind. So that puts us at 210, and then I think the 2 clubs, so 220, 230. I'm gonna go 4 hybrid. This is regularly like a 240-yard club, and we'll see what happens. I have a feeling even this could still come up short. Oh, hit the mat. That's definitely gonna be short. That was so heavy. If I didn't hit that as fat, I might have got there, but we're 35 yards still. Alright, and we're in the bunker, so this should be fun. 35, up ones, we're at 36, 14 mile an hour wind still, plus the 20%, which is realistically probably going to be 40-50%. So, 36, 10% would be 3.5, 7 would be 20, so I think it's going to be 14 yards because of the bunker at least. So that puts us at 46, 50, might even be 55, just the bunker alone, and then the wind on top of it. I think we're looking at 65, close to 70 yards here, I think. I'm gonna go choke down pitching wedge. Well, not quite. Guess we overestimated that one a little bit. Hit that decent too. Alright, now we're with the wind. We got 17 yards down 1 plus the wind, so I'm just gonna go 60 degree. Man, the wind here in real life is just brutal. Pulled it left. We'll see what happens. Alright. At least we got the +1. It's gonna be still an ugly score. Was that a double? Maybe a bogey or a double? Bogey. 5 over through 7. This isn't great. We only got another 4 strokes to give them. 16 miles an hour right into our face. We got 192. So 192 plus 16, we're looking at 208. And then I think probably a good 20-30 yards on top of that. So I think I'm gonna go 4 hybrid again. Play it to try to hit like a 240 yard shot. Caught it a tad heavy again, but at least it's going to be straight. Probably fade a little bit. Wow, it took so much off. I don't know about you guys out there, but although this is fun to do every once in a while, it is interesting with the wind and whatnot. For me personally, obviously, if I enjoyed it, I probably would do it a lot more. But for me, I come out here to play, try to get some good, at least somewhat realistic practice in. But when you add in the kind of arbitrary numbers of the wind and whatnot, it becomes somewhat laughable on some of these, the yardages on something that was, what was that, 150, 160 or something like that, when I usually hit it 240 if I hit it well. Granted, I didn't catch that great, but still. That's probably a good 60, 70, 80 yards difference there. 35 yards. We're in the rough, so we'll add another 4, so we're at 39 plus 16. We'll call it, I guess, 10 yards on top of that. So basically gonna go 52, just try to hit a 50-yard shot. Alright, that one's probably not too bad. I did pop that up a little bit, so it was a tad short, but unfortunately another bogey. We're going to be 9 over by the time we finish the front. 9th hole, par 5, 533 yards, 18 miles an hour from right to left. So we're going to aim pretty far up here to the right. Not the best contact there again, but with the wind pushing it back. All right, only 273 yards left with the 18-mile-an-hour wind, so I'm gonna aim here. Actually, we're gonna go out here. And I'm going to hit 3 hybrid. There's absolutely zero chance we get anywhere remotely close to this green, but if I can put something up there about anywhere 230 plus, usually when I hit this 3 hybrid good, usually looking at 250, 260, and on occasion 270 if I really hit it good, but let's see what the R10 is going to give us on this, strike depending. That was low and left. Not in the bunker though. Pretty horrendous shot, but we've got to look at it. 48 yards, 10%, so we'll call it another 5 on top of that. So we're looking at 53. We're gonna aim right there, right of the pin. I'm gonna go 52. I think I need, probably gonna play the best that I can, about maybe 60, 65 yards here. I don't think I put enough on that, and I caught it heavy to the left. Wow. Got lucky there. Alright, I gotta stop taking, or basically adding so much yardage to these shorter, shots. I bombed one over, and then that one I feel like I caught heavy. Granted, I was trying to play a longer shot there, but I caught that one heavy and actually came up decent, so. This doesn't seem too bad off the tee either. Obviously with the tee, you get a little more power behind it, but it seems like the main shortages and the discrepancies of what I'm used to is coming from the long to mid irons. But 10th hole, we're 5 over. So, I mean, we got a chance. We'll see. I feel like there's a few blow-up holes still to be had here, but I'm gonna aim up here towards the right. We got a 19-mile-an-hour wind pushing back at us, so see if I can start one right, maybe turn it over just a little bit, and just find a sliver of fairway somewhere. That ball in the water on whatever that was, 2 or 3, really hurt. Started pretty straight, turning over. Oh, I'll stay out of the bunker. Alright, 169. Nice. Bunker, 19-mile-an-hour wind. And we're gonna aim right side of the green. Now what do I need for yardage? 20% of that is going to be like 30, 35 yards as it is. So we're looking at over 200. And then you add in the shortage from the altitude, which is, we'll call it a club. So we're at like 210, and then the 19 miles an hour. We're probably at 220, 230. I'm going to go 5 hybrid to see what happens. Club twisted, that was really far right. Hopefully the wind helps it a little bit, but wow. Granted we were out of the bunker, but 124 yard 5 hybrid. That was at least, I didn't hit that very good, but that was at least 190, 200, so that was, we're looking at like a 70 yard discrepancy there with everything we got going. 47, 19 miles an hour. Luckily we're in the fairway here, but we're gonna aim just right of the pin a little bit. 46. I think I'm gonna add maybe 10 yards to it, so looking at around 55, 56 maybe if I can hit that. Came out a tad left. We did aim right in the wind. Go. All right. Oh, there's another bogey. Eleventh hole, par 5. 20 mile an hour wind from left to right. It's helping a little bit, but we're gonna aim up here. To be honest, I don't really even know. I think I mentioned it before. I've only played, there was 2 on accident. I think it was Kambaku. There were 2 9-hole courses. There was 2 courses on accident that I didn't even realize I was playing with the wind until I edited after. But I've never played with it on purpose. And then there was those 2 that I played, which I didn't even know. And then there was the one, I don't even remember what the name was, but there was one where Home T Hero had a glitch, and the weather, I turned off the wind settings like 3 different times, and there was a mix between all 3 of the wind not on and not affecting anything. Then randomly the wind would come on and affect it and actually start blowing and affecting the shot. And then there would be other times during that same round on that course where it would show that the wind was on, but it wasn't doing anything. So, but that was low on the club face and left. Hopefully the wind pushes it back. Not much. I mentioned that because I was gonna say, I don't even really know in real life, like what a 20, I don't know how to calculate in my head what a 20-mile-an-hour wind would even feel like on course. All right, so it's having us lay up. It's probably the good move. Can I go that way? I guess I could go that way, up and over these trees. It's probably pretty dumb, but we might be able to risk it for the biscuit and get a stroke back versus trying to guesstimate whatever this yardage would be. We could still come up short in the bunker or go long. So I think I'm gonna get a little risky here and go that way. I'm gonna hit still 20 miles an hour that way. I'm gonna go 3 hybrid and just rip it through these trees and see what happens. Once I get down to it here, I'm not really interested in a tie. So I either want to win or I'm gonna lose by a lot here. Pulled it left, but with the wind, oh, we got it to work. Oh, the tree took off a little bit on that. I saw that one, but all right. Set ourselves up here for a decent look. Let's see if we can stick this green. Might have to start to get a little reckless here with some of these shots. 55 yards, down 1, but we have a 20-mile-an-hour wind still, kind of helping to the right. So I'm gonna aim, I think, about there, which is 52. And now the question is, with the shortage in the altitude, but I have the wind, I think maybe about 40-45 yards, maybe. 20-mile-an-hour wind is a lot, and the altitude doesn't seem to affect the shorter shots as much. Pulled it a tad left and I popped it up. We'll see what happens. Wow, I don't know about that. And out of all the places, that tiny little bunker is where we end up. So we get lucky, we have a good shot, and then we go and do that. And now we got another guessing game out of this bunker. How did it come up that short? I mean, this is a 52. I was trying to play a little bit off it, so maybe that was like, I don't know. I'm gonna go 56. We'll see what happens. Almost went in. We got lucky there. We scrape out a par. Man, if we stuck that green before, we could have got a stroke back there with a bird. All right. Hanging around 6 over still, 12th hole par 4, 302, 20-mile-an-hour wind now from right to left. So we're going to aim way up here to the right. Going to hit driver. We'll take the par on a course like this with the weather and everything else, but it's kind of unfortunate. We hit a pretty good shot there with that 3 hybrid and we wasn't able to capitalize on it. Decent swing, a little low on the club face. Right into the bunker. Alright, another guessing game here. So, 77 yards to the pin, up ones, we're at 78. 20% is going to be like 14, 15 yards, and then we're going to double that because we're in the bunker. So, that's going to be like 30. So that puts us at, we'll call it 110. And then we have a wind a little bit in our face, so I'm going to go basically choke down pitching wedge, try to hit it about anywhere from, call it 105, I guess. Not that I can do that just on command, but that's what we're going for. Struck it decent. Wow. All right, 18 yards. I guess we'll aim just a tad right. I'm gonna go 60 degree. +1, we can scrape out a par. We did. It's gonna be funny if I come relatively close to a 9 over after 18 holes worth of excuses. All right, 157 to the pin, 20-mile-an-hour wind. I think we're gonna aim over there, even off the green. I think I'm gonna club up once. Usually that would be a 9. I think I'm gonna go 8 iron and see what happens. Do I go 7? I'm gonna go 7 iron. I don't want to be short. I don't want to put one in the water. I'll take it being 10, 15 yards long versus losing a stroke into the water. Now for reference, 7 iron, usually a stock 7 on course, or when I'm playing with my adjusted weather settings, is about 180, 185. So, when I hit it well, that is, but we'll see what happens here. Struck it pretty good. Started a little bit left, should fade. Alright, we'll take that. A little bit long, kind of what I expected, but I think the wind pushed that a lot. "19 yards, 20 miles an hour that way." We're gonna go right there and hit the 60 degree. Alright, I think we scraped out a par, luckily. Alright, 14th hole, par 4. Gonna go, I guess, left side and not try to turn it over a whole lot. It's gonna push it pretty far right, but I don't wanna kind of pull one left and then end up in that water despite the wind. Is there room? There's not a whole lot of room. I guess we'll leave it there, see what happens. Not a whole lot of room right, unfortunately. Oh, that was so bad. At least it was right, though. And at least right, but I mean not in the water. Hopefully that's not a penalty. All right. That was a bad, bad shot there. All right. Out of the rough, we've got 202. 10% is going to be 20 yards. So we're at 222. And then 19-mile-an-hour wind. Helping just a little bit, but mainly just left to right. So we're going to aim up here. Left side of the green. What am I going to hit? 222. I'm going to go 4 hybrid, so about usually like 240. Oh no, don't pick it up. Don't pick it up. No. Just a complete dead top. Well, there you go, Rockstar Golf. That could be the match right there. That's what I get for trying to muscle up a club and swinging out of my shoes. Man, that's frustrating. Well, we got to stick this green. 136. At least we're in the fairway now. We got 19 miles an hour still. And aim left side of the green. 136. I guess I'm gonna go choke down 9-iron. I think I'm gonna add 10 yards to this. So we're looking at like 146-ish. I'm gonna choke down about an inch on the 9. Wow, that wind pushed it so far. Decent shot though. At least we got the number right there. Oh boy. Alright. Now we got 2 strokes left. I think we're 7 over now. 15th hole. 4 holes to play. 17 miles an hour. Helping from right to left. So we're gonna aim there. Could use a good drive here. I'm thinking there's gonna be at least probably out of these 4 holes, there's probably gonna be at least 2 bogeys. So I need probably at a minimum 2 bogeys, 2 pars, or ideally a bird in here somewhere and get lucky to have a chance. I think that was a push right. It's gonna bring it back, but all right, get down, get down, get down. $154, down one, so we're at 153. 10% on that is gonna, we'll call it 6 yards. So 163, 169, nice. And then 17 yards, or 17 miles an hour rather. I'm gonna go, I guess, 8 iron. It's either an 8 or a 7. I think 7 might be too much, even despite the shortages, so we'll see what happens with an 8. Try to put a little extra on that. I struck it decent. Nope, needed the 7. That's frustrating. 138 yard 8 iron, which is usually 170, 175. 26, up 1 with the 17 miles an hour, plus the 20%, which is realistically probably like 40 or 50%. So, 27. 5 yards would be 20%, 10 yards would be I think I'm gonna go like 40, 45 yards. Going 52. That's tough. Is that gonna be another bogey? Well, we're down to 1 stroke here with 3 holes left. Par 5, we need a bird or a par here. Par 5, we need a bird. We're 8 over. The suspense is building. We've got a tricky hole layout, 16 miles an hour. Well, see what happens. Pushed it right, my foot slipped. Poor strike. I think the wind helped that, but 255 left. Gonna aim up there to the left. I'm going 3 hybrid. That was off the toe. That's gonna be pretty far right into the water. Well, let's do this again. There goes the match. Congratulations, Rockstar Golf. Unless I get like a hole in one. And I think we have that, the iconic, oh, maybe not 3 hybrid again. All right, we have that iconic hole, the island green next, which who knows what's gonna happen there. 163, 16 miles an hour. We're gonna aim way out here. All right, 163 down 2, so 161, 10%, we'll call it 17, so 171, 178, and then 16 miles an hour plus the altitude. I think I'm gonna go 6 iron, which is usually like 190. That still might come up short, but came out left. Wow. $32 yards, 10%. Call it another 4. So we're at 36. I'm gonna go 52 again, take a little bit off of my 50-yard shot. It's gonna be a double, I think. Yikes. Well, we need a hole in one here on 17. I think we're what, 10 over now? Yep, 10 over. All right, 131, down 1, so we're at 130, 14 miles an hour wind from right to left. So we're gonna aim right side of this green. 131, that would usually be a slightly choked down, not even a full pitching wedge. I think I'm gonna club up 1. So I'm gonna go 9 iron. We're gonna see what happens. Came out pretty straight, caught it a little bit heavy. That might work to our favor because I clubbed up. Go! Wow. That's gonna be a +3 out there. Another bogey. Well, it's official. Congratulations, Rockstar Golf. You won volume 1 of the challenge. Take some frustration out on this swing. .173, 12 mile an hour wind helping up to the left. So we're gonna go right there. I think that's basically gonna cancel out any shortage. That's about 12, we call it 10 yards on 12 miles an hour. That's gonna cancel anything out. So 172, 173. It's usually, that's right in between an 8 iron and a 7 iron. I'm gonna go soft 7. See what happens. Push it right. Not even close. That's gonna be another +3. there we have it. From TPC Sawgrass, the stadium course. Volume 1 of the Hosel Rocket Rockstar Golf Challenge. We ended up with a pretty ugly 12 over 84. 41 on the back, or 41 on the front rather, 43 on the back, 6 out of 14 fairways, 4 out of 18 greens in regulation, and 31 putts. All pretty bad metrics there. Had a triple on 4, we had a double on 16. Besides that, we somehow had 2 birds. Everything else were pars and bogeys, but it is what it is. Rockstar Golf won it fair and square. Go check out his channel. He has a pretty sweet indoor setup. I'm pretty jealous about that, especially with this colder weather here, but I believe he also has a unicore, so he's pretty used to having some pretty accurate readings inside. Go check out his channel. He said he's going to pick the next course. I do think I'm going to make it official from here on out. I'm open to any challenges or doing any kind of head-to-head matches, etc., but I think from here on out I got to adjust the settings, because this was back towards what I was doing for the first maybe 20 videos of the channel before R10 came out with the settings. This is basically, I think it has a lot to do with where you're actually located. So I'm relatively close to sea level here. I know that it was too at the course, but I think if you're like people, for example, in Colorado that are pretty high altitude already, them tweaking, I don't think they need to tweak their altitude quite as much versus if you're closer to sea level like I am. Usually my stock settings that you see me play all the videos are 5,300 feet on the altitude, 65% humidity, and 85 degrees temperature. So all those settings, I found that when I'm hitting it well, that's pretty close to what I see on course for yardages. And then of course something like today when it's cold out, I can expect everything to be shorter on top of that, but I think it was just too much. Again, Rockstar Golf, congratulations to you, you won fair and square, but for me back here, between the wind and then the altitude and everything else, I think it was just too much of a guessing game trying to figure out what I should actually hit. I have a, he's got a pretty pure swing. He's definitely better than me at golf in general, but I have a hard enough time just hitting the actual yardages that I'm trying to do when everything is relatively the same and the conditions are the same. So going forward, I think we're gonna do it that way. I think the settings for everyone is going to be a little bit different, so if that means if any of you out there that are curious and want to play, maybe see if you have an R10, see if you can beat one of our scores. But if one of you guys want to challenge either me or Rockstar Golf over there, I can't speak for him, but for me, I'm just going to do it to where you're going to have to adjust your settings to where you think you're hitting accurate yardages, because if not, it's still fun. It was fun to do the competition. I thought I was going to have a chance there for a second, but I didn't end up getting the W. But if we're going to do it, I'd rather be able to pick actual club selection. So if I know it's 155 or 160 yards, I can actually hit a 9-iron, not have to do mental math and figure out how many clubs I need to go up or down based on the altitude and the weather and whatnot. So, but good first round. Unfortunately, I didn't get it. Those balls in the water hurt, but don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you have any course suggestions down below. Again, go check out Rockstar Golf, and see you guys in the next course.